All right, you guys, let's chat through the people squad. We're sitting here with 30 ranks down. We were 683, now we're 653. So even with only 366 points, if we got up near 500 or so, like we would have seen with the couple of teams in the last video, in that top 10 there, we would have seen some big rank jumps. But unfortunately, it didn't get that far. We decided to go for a little bit more quality in the rounds before, for guys that weren't exactly going to play in round 17, which will put us in better stead going forward. So it's really nice to be able to pretty much hold rank / just improve with only the 7 players there. So we'll have a look at our team now and then possibly what we can do from here going forward. So Verrills, 28, did okay. Can't really complain too much. He's using him as a cash out, so anything around that 30 plus mark would be fine. Bringing in Tamalolo was a really good one. So it was him or Josh Jackson, for example, and they both scored very similar. So Tamalolo with a few attacking stats with the line break and a bunch of tackle breaks was really good to see. Hopefully he can do that, continue to do that for the rest of the season. That would be ideal. If we're looking down, we got Johnson with 54, doubling up as captain. Yeah, a pretty solid game as I spoke about in the previous video. Just didn't goal kick in this one. I'm not sure if there was any issue with his leg or his foot, similar to Cody Nicarima in that game. Maybe they made a pact to both not kick this one just to ruin all the fantasy players. But yeah, that's it with Johnson there. And then Ramian and Averillo, both average scores to be fair, but we can expect that from centres as we go along. We've obviously seen throughout the year that guys like Robertson and even Manu and Opacek, all the guys that we've kind of had along the way, even Averillo at the start, all have had lower games. So this is kind of we take the 30 odds when we can. Reece Walsh, most people have 59, did fine. Can't complain with his efforts on the park as always. Getting up to 607k now, so doing really well. And then Blake Taff there with a 32. So we can't complain with any cash out that gets into that score. So that's the squad, guys. That was where we're at. We obviously didn't rank very high this round. That also would mean there'd be a bunch of guys that would make fresh teams heading into round 17 to try and get that the little weekly prize or get number one in this round 17. But yeah, I suppose seven people. Yeah, in the grand scheme, when it was enough to gain ranks. If you're in the, it was 683, enough to gain 30 ranks, but be ranks 20,000 for the round is interesting. So, yeah, obviously a bunch of guys that haven't really planned across the whole buy period and have ended up with, maybe 10 players that just sneak over, 300 or 400 points there. All right, so move on to next week. And the question here is, what do we do with guys like Nico Hines? What do we do with Schuster? If we look, all right, let's go through that. Let's go through the side and the keepers that we've got, and then also the possible guys that we'd like to move on from our side. So if we move Brayley back in as we are, so right now with Brayley, we're probably looking at moving him on, right? So we have 10 trades to go, 470k in the bank. So he's someone that we can easily move on from our squad. If we move Payne Haas into our starting side, we pop him over Watson, just to show our sort of best top guys there. If we move Teddy in over Taff, I'll make that look a little bit better. And so yeah, Hooker's probably the one that we'd be looking to improve upon at this stage. If you look at our starters in the mids and the edge, there's really nothing too much to worry about. If we're looking at our starters in the halves, then maybe there's someone like DCE that we could target as like our third half. But we also have Moses, Johnson, and Hughes, so very easy not to use any trades in that position. If we look down to the bottom, we've got Walsh, Teddy, and Trebojevic, and then we're looking at someone like Hines. And is he someone that we're going to have to trade out at some point? It might be a good option to do that when you have him possibly being out of the side in the next few weeks. So I think a Hines to a Ponga or whoever we want to pick in that wing fullback position, I think will be a good one over the next few weeks, just as he loses his spot, or maybe go straight to Pap after a few weeks. But yeah, I think Ponga or something like that could be a good one. But really, there's not too many guys to trade out, is there? We can use Schuster as a cash down option. We'll have enough money to get back Cleary. We could even upgrade and have DCE on the bench, have a fourth half. There's a few things that we could do, I think, in this squad, which is really cool. But I think the Brayley to Ben Hunt could be a really solid one to shore up our hooking position. Again, we'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen in round 18 with the COVID bubble. Ben Hunt didn't get suspended from that Dragon side, which is ideal. We're not sitting here with any other Dragons players like Jack Bird, who's going to be suspended for a week, depending on which week they decide to do it. Tyson Gamble we can use as a decent player at this moment. Peachy we have as our bench option in our centres at the moment. it'll be interesting to see what happens with someone like Averillo. So really, with 10 trades to go, there's probably only a few that we need to make, which would be like a Hines and a Brayley to a Hunt and a Ponga or something like that to really shore it up. And then we can use our extra money to bring back a Cleary. You can bring in a DCE or maybe a Tohu Harris when he comes back, just to shore up that mid and the edge. Yeah, I suppose that's really it, because the only issue right now is we don't really have edge cover apart from if we move Papali'i down. So we can move Papali'i down and use Watson in the starting side. So I think maybe one more strong mid would be ideal. Maybe, as we said, but that's when Tohu Harris comes back. Other than that, there's not too many other guys down this line here that are the top guys. We kind of have most of them, which is really cool. You know, having Fafita, holding them, holding Crichton, having Hughes are all really solid options. Yeah, even having Teddy, we're gonna want, most teams are gonna want him for the back end of the year just for consistency. So that's kind of where we're at in the people squad right now. Let me know what you guys are thinking around this squad as to what you do. But obviously 470k there, 10 trades remaining. I think we're going to be held in really good stead for the rest of the year. Yeah, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one, team. We'll go through my team. Have a good one.